All right, we are live, I believe. I'm gonna check the page. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are now live. Yes, we are.
I
We
see.
are live, I believe. I'm gonna check the page.
Look, I was so busy engrossed waiting on you to do whatever Zoom had you doing. And I'm looking, I'm multitasking, like, oh, snap.
We
Hey,
are.
everybody.
Hey, welcome. The title of this is "Help Me, I Can't Breathe." It is literally too much.
Amen. Let the church say amen. Oh, Lord, can you tag me too, Theron? Because it's not letting me, or
Yeah.
is it on your main page too? Or
Uh
is it,
huh.
okay. I'm gonna find it because I'm in the lounge.
Right now.
That way I could put it out here in Facebook land, y'all. But let's talk. What y'all think we saying is too much? Tag me too, Theron, because it's not letting me. Or is it on your main? Oh, you know what? You have it inside of the group. That's why I can't share it. Never mind. Okay, I thought it was on I thought it was out there in Facebook land.
It is. It is. It's on my main page.
Okay, hold on. Got it. Okay, let me mute myself. We usually look then Bennett did an intro and everything. I'm gonna mute myself so that I can share while you talk.
All right. Literally. All right. This is we have Miss August Crenshaw. She's the founder of the move that is Master our Virtual Economy Summit 2021. That's going down right now. We are on day 5. I better count with my fingers. I was literally about to count with my fingers what day we are on. We are literally on day 5. But the title of this, "Help Me, I Can't Breathe," it is too much. Literally, it is. Like we were just discussing how, like when you got something going on, how literally a lot of the stuff of the world can come and you can't breathe and you're overwhelmed and you are hyperventilating. Just like on today, getting this situated. August starting her the summit this week, and a lot of stuff happened when she was trying to start stuff. And I had to do a lot of stuff today when I had this interview on today. You muted.
And that's what it seems like that's what always happens, especially when something great is on the horizon. And I know a lot of people don't like to think that, but when you're about to really have a breakthrough and experience the moment you're looking for, be it in your business, in your marriage, with something with your children, it's like, why is this science even here that all hell breaks loose? But the thing for me is that a lot of times in life, we still check in, we show up, and we push through. But I find that a lot of entrepreneurs, until you reach a certain mark, then your whatever is going on, that too much becomes your distraction. And it's because you're overwhelmed, because you don't even really know what to do in the first place. You don't really know what takes priority. And that's one of the things that we've been talking about, and the way that the summit has been positioned. We're talking about the kind of things that'll pop up. We talked about copywriting, then we talked about marketing. It's like, hold up. But you might have a problem with your spouse.
Oh,
So, let's talk about that. And then all of a sudden you got to recheck your own ability to, measure things out and, get your productivity on point. And then we started digging into social media strategy. And so I'm really big on teaching things in the order of potential probability, because as an entrepreneur, we be trying to do too much. So then when life happens and it's too much, we really can't breathe.
no, and you just want to take a vacation for a whole entire month by yourself because you got a lot going on, and a lot of people like to. I know that us Black folks are just now. A lot of us are just now coming in to the entrepreneurship thing, and they make it seem like, oh, it's just this and that, but it can get hard. And like people don't realize it can get hard. It can get hard.
Well, I mean, and it's not even that it can, is that it does. And if we're really honest, a lot of us, we do not want to embrace the virtual side of this. And it's sad, right? Because unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of things in order. 2020 has come and gone, and unfortunately, a lot of businesses have gone as well. Well, we're here in 2021, and they're still kind of playing around with limitations, restrictions, potential lockdowns here. They've done it in other countries again already. And so for me, it's when do we go ahead and stop saying what we're not going to do?
Yes.
There's so many people trying to tell you, build your business your way. Well, yeah, you do get to build your business your way, but there's certain aspects of business that you can't get away from. And a lot of people don't want to go ahead and say, no, I'm going to do what I don't want to do because it's what I have to do because my business and my legacy is on the line. So a lot of people saying they want legacy. They're saying that they want generational wealth. You got gold in your mind and potentially in your fingertips. But if you don't have the right exposure and if you don't learn how to navigate this virtual arena, you could give it up.
Yes, because it's a lot. Like, even with myself dealing with and doing social media for my clients, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still a lot. Especially I've onboarded a few new clients, and I'm like, for them, I'm like, oh, we got to do this and that, with the Instagram, with the Reels, IGTV, then TikTok, and then I'm like, it is a lot, but don't overwhelm yourself. And people have to realize some people have been in the game longer than others. So it looks a little more easier because they have mastered some of the things that they need to accomplish. They have mastered some of it, not all of it. look, not all of it, but they have mastered some of it.
Well, that's one of the reasons too why we really don't want to compare. Hey, how you doing, Debbie? We don't want to compare where we are and how someone else's brand looks, because it was funny when me and you were on the interview. I was talking about, like, if you go to the beginning of my IG, if you just scroll all the way back to 2016, you will be like, oh my God, she had no brand. Any kind of crazy ass block letters, the imagery. When you read the phrase, you could be like, okay, she was like, anything is possible. Then I find somebody who's like twisted up like a pretzel, it's like, but dude, that's not me. That's not my brand. I didn't used to write copy. I didn't used to use hashtags. It's a lot of stuff that I didn't used to do. When I used to show up on live video, even though I'm a good speaker, I didn't necessarily have the ability to be able to tell a story and lead into an offer. Hell, I wasn't even doing call to actions and stuff like that. Whereas now people could be like, girl, you a straight beast. I'm like, but you do realize I started in August in 2015 and didn't really fully embrace what it meant to be online until 2016. We're in 2021. And I've been putting in the work consistently, even when it was embarrassing. So what I've mastered, I've earned my stripes.
Right. And people don't realize that. They're like, oh, I got to show up and nobody's on this and nobody's doing that. But if you, like you said, been in it for a little bit and you put that momentum in, then people are going to see it. More people are going to be asking you questions too, because they see you doing it and they want to do it.
No, absolutely. And my thing is this, like, why are you even doing what you're doing in the first place? Because it takes an internal fire within this space in order to be able to make it. And I find that a lot of people don't really have an internal fire. What you have is an idea. And if that idea could potentially get you to freedom, like, oh my God, if you could monetize it and make some money and not have to work for somebody else, then woo woo. And for some people, because of the kind of product that you have, because of maybe where you live, the access to the client base that you have, there are some businesses that are very easy to start and they're very profitable. But most of the people that follow you, Theron, and the people that follow me, we are dealing in the world of intellectual property. A lot of us specifically want to serve our community, and we want to make sure that we're empowering people. Now, the ironic thing is that many of you want to empower people and you want to reach the masses, but you don't understand that because they're disempowered, you're going to have to educate your audience. You're going to have to show up even when it feels like they're not paying attention. If you really think about it, you want empowered people to show up, but you're supposed to be helping disempowered people, which means that you're supposed to be there even when it doesn't feel good. You have to be the epitome of what it is that you're selling. And then eventually the people that become empowered by you keep on bringing in their people that are disempowered, and you begin to grow an audience of people that faith and that trust is there. And so showing up and utilizing social media and being consistent in your business, it definitely cannot initially be result driven. You've got to show the divine that you're worthy of this opportunity and that you believe in the message that's in you so strong that you show up, that it, even when it looks like it isn't working.
You brought up a good point about, I never really thought about you are serving disempowered people. I never really thought it from that perspective, how you just say, you know, you want to empower people. So therefore you have to educate and show up when you don't feel like it, because those folks are disempowered. That's a big key for me right there. Because you know, you still have to show up for those disempowered to show them that you can show up.
I mean, think about it. The core of my brand is authenticity. So what am I usually dealing with? Women that are afraid to show up because they got a country slang, or they're trying to be too professional. They don't think that they're enough. They want to look more edgy like me, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to seem too saved, or they don't, whatever it is, they don't just come out the way that they're supposed to. Another thing I specialize in is mindset. Some of my clients, I'll be like, oh Lord, every time I talk to her, I think it's like, oh my God. But at the end of the day, I'm not like, oh my God, because I don't attract headache clients. I just attract some clients that need more work than others. But I'll be like, boy, her mindset is so messed up. She gonna figure this shit out eventually. But I'm here for, right? I'm
right.
Here for. So I'm going to speak up when I see things that are off in my clients, but it doesn't make me mad, where I don't want to serve them anymore. I don't want to do my business anymore. I feel bad about what I'm doing because I specialize in the very thing that they need help in. That's like deciding you want to be a surgeon and you sick at the sight of blood. You hyperventilating is too much because a needle scares you. Wrong profession.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know about the mindset, because you don't help me with some mindset.
Y'all, I'll be out there, but we ain't gonna talk about that. I'll be like, Queen, I expect greater from you. You better switch this.
She was just on me before we got on here, so yeah.
So look, let me just say this: you cannot always judge the coach by the clients, because some of them be scared. They're everybody's seriously though, and that's another. Can I go there though with the whole? A lot of you, especially if you're serving people and you're some type of coach or service provider, and that service, enhances or changes a person's life. A lot of times, some of you are even afraid to show up and promote your business because you're trying to gauge the validity of your client's results. I remember I worked with a woman who dealt with people and their relationships, and the individuals, she came to her for coaching, and the end result was a divorce. And I was like, why can't you use her testimonial? Well, because I wanted to save the marriage. I'm like, but did you want to save the marriage if it was unhealthy? The probability with this woman is that you're going to work through your ish and you're going to stay together if you work with her. But if it's not a healthy marriage, you're going to have 1000% clarity, so that when you walk away peacefully and you walk away confidently. And so when you're out here in these internet streets, and and I've had people my clients, they let it be known. But I've had people that come on my videos sometimes and be like, hey, coach, and I ain't never even talked to them. They just listen to my videos, and I be sitting there thinking to myself, you show up raggedy as hell. I ain't your coach. I don't embarrass people like that. You know what I'm saying? You would never know. I'd be like, hey, what's going on? Because in their mind, from a spiritual space, I am their coach. And because they are getting coached by my words, and that transformation hasn't necessarily manifested the way that they want to see it or I want to see it, they're trying the best that they can with what they have to DIY what I have. And I remember what it was like to have to DIY stuff, because I had, too many financial obstacles to overcome. And it took, some people might have been like, how the hell but I still showed up. And that's, so going back to the title that Theron gave, help me, I can't breathe. It's a lot of times where I had to woosah. and be comfortable with what I had accomplished and the few clients that I had accomplished, and realize that this was a journey, not just for me to get, for them to get better, but for me to become a better person too.
Yeah, so there's a thing that I wanted to, can't share it on here, that someone posted the other day, and it really was what I needed. It was this, your content is just not, your content is just not content. Oh no, that's not it.
How long will be?
Be excited about your own content. Each time you should be like, man, this is so fire. If you can't believe in your own content, how can we expect others to be?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. I'm like, oh, that right there. You know, celebrate you be putting your own content, celebrate you about you posting because somebody's not.
Yeah, but see, but that goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the video, especially if people are just now beginning to come on. You know, there are a lot of things in business that you should be celebrating that you probably are not, because you're insecure, and you have to flip the perspective. Like in my business group, we have Flex Fridays. And, you know, there's a lot of different themes. There's a lot of different information that I put inside of the group that I don't require people to respond to. But when it comes to Flex Fridays, oh, you're going to have to come up in here and say you're grateful for something. Because at the end of the day, a spirit of gratitude shifts your energy. That's one thing. But then not only that, you know, it's important for you to also pass on that positive energy to somebody else. But you also want to show God that you're grateful for whatever it is that you have right now. So I could have flexed, you know, the money that I've made off of summit tickets or something like that. But that isn't what I flexed today in the group. I flexed relationships because my mentor volunteered to do an extra segment live. Yay, for those of you all that are registered. Brother Bedford's going to do an extra segment with me. We're going to, you know, discuss the time frame or whatever for the summit attendees. And I look at what I've accomplished, because there was a time when relationships were a big issue for me. You know, not having family support, you know, not being connected to my siblings, living in a city where there's nobody else next to me, always thinking women gonna betray me. I had to work through those things. And so since those aren't the stories that rule my mind anymore, and I look at the opportunities that I've made and the kind of people that I'm connected to, that's a flex. And a lot of you don't realize that this is why you should show up on social media. This is why you should love your message. This is why you should speak it proudly, because people got to see consistency and know what it is that you're about. Because a lot of you, you're literally one relationship away from your next breakthrough. Like, I can say this boldly, and I will say it confidently. There are a lot of people that are connected to me when I go through this next layer of an expansion that's on the horizon very quickly, because of the access that I have, that there are people that are connected to me that they fit in those missing pieces, and they're going to rise with me. Now, there are going to be people that could have been connected to me that's going to be like trying to, you know, send me a random message. Hey, girl, how you doing? I'm doing good. All right. You know, and I'm going on about my business, because they don't really have anything of substance to say to me, because they haven't worked on keeping a relationship with me. And so a lot of you don't even realize that part of the reason why you don't really thoroughly show up online is because you got relationship issues. When I tell you that we're talking about everything up in this summit to make sure that we digging all up in your ish, we digging all up in your ish. August don't know how to do it any other way.
We are only on week 1, day number 5, and just imagine, I can imagine the other segments that we got going on that's gonna last through next month. So
yeah, we going in. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think, tomorrow we talking about money with Terry, ain't we? If I'm not, so. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, tomorrow we talking about finances, because you know that Black women, we get that all messed up once we start a business. Don't let us find that person that make us think we gonna make 6 figures in 6 steps in 6 days, baby. We go ahead and empty out the 401k, and we be sitting there, God, I put it all out on the line for my business, and I don't have nothing to show for it. And God be sitting there like, I didn't bless that mess. Sorry. You really can't breathe in. You're like, I'm gonna pay my friend. Honey, gave all my money.
really hyperventilate with that when it comes to them finances. You're like, oh my, you be looking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, so I'm not even sure how many segments have you tuned into, Theron?
I turned into the first three, which I love about this because you get to actually catch up. So I
Right.
turned into the first three with you and Charmaine, you and Brother Bedford, and there's one more.
Did you do Imani with the
It's
relationship?
a part of Imani's.
Part of Imani's, okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at with Amani's with the relationship and the spousal through the pandemic. So
So
yeah,
you haven't got to Teresa yet.
no, I have not.
So what do you think has been the most convicting thing that you've heard so far? Tell the truth. Say it again.
The copy, the part that about mostly having the quality versus the quantity. So I posted in the group when you had the quote of the when you asked about it, what we're gonna do. So I posted that in our private group that y'all need to get in.
With the daily prompt, yeah.
Right. And then also with Brother Bedford when he was saying about rockets take off on platforms. So I'm like, what is your platform?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
they call his nuggets boulders. They was like, he throwing boulders at people's heads.
And then when you're talking about, the feminine and the masculine tone in your marketing, that really like, okay, well, how am I? What is my tone when I'm showing up? So those are some of the things that I already gained on there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? And we had a really deep discussion about that because we did a pop-up session. I don't know if you later on when you get to go back and look, but we did a pop-up session on the day one for the copywriter and a pop-up session on day two, for the marketing. And that's real because a lot of people haven't really thought about the feminine versus the masculine in their message. And so I have masculine energy, like no nonsense, don't play all up in your face. However, my marketing is very much feminine, very, very much feminine. You are nurtured, you are guided through when I'm talking to you. The heartstrings, they're not being pulled to manipulate, but they are being pulled to convict to cause action. And that's just a little bit of what I'll give in regards to that, because like what you said, some people be like, well, I don't even know exactly what that means. But what I can tell you is that what the vast majority of you have learned is you've learned a very masculine strategy. And that's why so many Black people are uncomfortable online. If you really think about it, some of the spamming strategies, the manipulation and the scare tactics on sales calls, the way they tell you to show up online, if you want to be successful, it isn't community driven. It isn't really heart centered. They may try to they will use heart centered messaging to pull you into their program. And then the things that they tell you to do, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to do it because I guess I should be listening to them because they're successful and I should do what they're doing. But then you're not comfortable. And that's one thing that I don't want Black people to feel anymore. I don't want you to feel like you're supposed to be uncomfortable if you do this. You can still do this your way. If you look at my track record and you look at the women, and I'm not just talking about the ones that are with me now, like look at the ones that have graduated and how they own their authenticity. They own their message. They own their gifts. That's because they were given permission to show up online in a way that was comfortable for them, comfortable to build for their family. Entrepreneurship is about the opportunity to create the kind of life that you want. So don't abandon this because your mind has said, help me, I can't breathe, this is too much, and I perceived it like this. This is the whole point of masterminding, communities, summits, so that someone can give you direction. When I say you got a blueprint, you like, I need answers all this. You've got a freaking blueprint. Yes. And Theron, we met, it's been over 2 years now since the first summit that you've seen. The information has elevated, but the purpose and the passion and the architecture of the event, this is how it was since day one.
Yeah. Yeah. This was Business Mastery. I think Business
Mastery. Yep.
Was the first one that I watched, and then I participated in the last one and this one.
Yeah, the 2020 vision, you know, and now we on the move, master of virtual economy.
Mhm. Yeah, so y'all come on in because you still got time to catch up. It's not like those summits where you got four, you're not overwhelmed with 4 and 5 speakers in one day and you got to catch up because you got another 4 or 5. Is one I love this one because it's one a day and you can catch up and you can stop and pause it, come back to it, and then you got the workbook. I actually got the physical workbook. Yeah, that came in on Wednesday, so I actually to go back and answer some of the questions going pertaining to the things so it can really sink in and you can actually start to implement maybe in your mind, maybe a mindset implementation you got to do first before you implement the action part, but implement the stuff in your mind first so you can go out there and get and master your own virtual economy in
Yes.
2021 moving forward.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing that I would want to drive home before we get out of here is that there really are implementable steps.
Yes.
Some of it's mindset work, some of it you'd be like, oh wow, after like watching Theron's part, you'd be like, okay, that's something else. I didn't heard her say all this stuff on her live videos, but because August asked this question this way, I'm convicted to show up this way, you know, on social media. There are certain things, and even the there's different competitions and daily prompts that are even encouraging people. You know, I can't wait till you see Teresa's part about productivity. I'll give you guys a clue. She said one thing about having more verbs versus nouns on your daily planner. And one lady was like, "Oh, I got 3 nouns and 4 verbs. And okay, I need to change that up because it was more action oriented listings on your schedule, which changed the way you moved and required you to take big projects and make sure that you splintered them off right and that you scheduled them properly." I mean, it's just a lot of different things, you know, where I've interviewed these people in a manner where it's like, no, I'm digging and I'm asking them questions so they don't just give you fluff and bull. You guys don't want that. You want real answers in real time because you got a real business with real issues. We're here to resolve that. So
Yes.
your replays come with your ticket purchase. The PDF version of the workbook comes with your ticket purchase. The bonuses or anything that's included, you're not being upsold at all. Even when Brother Bedford comes in, you're not being upsold. The upsell for you now is that that's a new bonus that you hear of, and you need to get in while they're getting it good,
Yes.
so that you can be there, to be somewhere, to have a conversation with him and to be able to engage in Q&A. Do you all understand?
Yeah, I do. Look, I do.
He has interviewed Kathy Lucas, Lisa Knuckles,
George,
Dennis
George
Kimbrough,
Frazier. George Frazier.
Dr. George Frazier. I mean, the people that he masterminds with and who he's connected to, do you know there's an expression, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get out? Well, look, I love the fact that he allows me to nurture my gifts and to speak up in the mastermind, but I'll be like this when Brother Bedford be talking. I'll be like, okay, what did it? Look, I'll be just sitting here. People don't even know. I'll be sitting there listening to me, laughing and chuckling. My little arm just down here moving. Notes. What
Take it out, yes.
I'll be doing, my brain be saying, I'll be doing that shit. Okay, I'll change that. So yeah, thank you for everything that you do and for being a part of this. We changing lives together.
We are, yes, we are.
So who else coming? Come
Oh,
on, y'all.
I'm like, who else coming after us? But no, that
I'm talking about all these people watching this video. Click that link, come and join us.
click the link is already in. It's already in the comments. So I'm gonna actually pin the comments. So wherever you're watching it from, if you're on YouTube, I'll put it out there too. But wherever you're watching this from,
Yeah.
click the link, and then come and join us to master your own virtual economy and get these nuggets. Because 2021 and beyond, you're gonna need this information. This information is gonna be your foundation to move.
There it is.
All right. See y'all.
Yeah, bye.